Greetings, everyone. Brad here with Mild-Mannered EDC. And today we are going to do a review of this little guy. This is the Gerber Armbar driver. That's right. So I ordered this from DLT Trading not too long ago and got it quickly and at a reasonable price. So always good doing business with them, and they send you along a little bit of swag there, which is pretty cool. So let's talk about this. So I'm not actually a big multi-tool guy. It's not something my work doesn't really necessitate it. I don't generally find myself in a situation where I need a wide variety of tools. So, and I kind of already feel like with my knife and my phone and the other things I carry on my keychain or whatever, my pockets are just full enough. So like I said, I'm just not a huge multi-tool carrying individual, but that's not to say I don't appreciate their value, and certainly, whether you're some people are SOG people, Swiss tools, obviously Leatherman, some fantastic tools out there. I usually find one of these hanging off my keychain or in my car console or whatever, perfectly sufficient for my needs. So, and go watch my Swiss Army knife video if you want to kind of see what I use some of those tools and what are kind of my preferred tools, but for this purpose, I thought I would pick this one up because it intrigued me. Not only is it relatively compact, it's relatively lightweight, and it does seem to have a pretty handy little selection of tools on it. So that's why I kind of wanted to do this review for you. Plus, it's orange, so I kind of felt like I had no choice. But no, seriously, it seemed like a pretty decent. And for $35, I felt like, this is something I should take a look at, and maybe if I like it, I can share it with the channel. So here we go. So let's get into this. So what does this multi-tool come with? Well, so first of all, I guess I should say, so this multi-tool I'll put some specs up. It's relatively lightweight. It's like 3.5 ounces, something like that. The first thing, and you just saw me messing with it, is it has a blade. And the unique thing about this blade, at least that I feel like, is it's locking. Well, it's kind of two things. So one, not only is it locking, but it's one hand open, I think pretty conveniently. This one's still a little bit stiff, but I think over time that would wear in. But it's open, one hand open, one hand close. It's not the smoothest piece ever, but for a multi-tool, I think that's pretty decent. And how does this blade perform? Well, I think it performs pretty well. It's got a pretty slicey grind on it. They didn't. The sharpening choil's decent. Oops, sorry, just bumped the camera. It's got a little bit of a tip here, but I think it's also got some nice kind of utility that you can get your finger up there and do some detail work. So yeah, I think the blade shape is actually pretty nice, and the functionality of being able to kind of open and close with one hand is pretty cool. So I think that's great. Now, how long will this slicey blade edge last, you ask? I don't know. And the reason I don't know is because I have no idea what steel this is. And that's a complaint that I have. Nowhere could I find on the Gerber website, other retailer websites, distributors, whatever, I could not find this. Knowing Gerber and sort of the steels that they tend to use in these type of things, it's a, number... CR number MOV of some variety. Pick your numbers and insert them there, and you're probably going to get it pretty close. So I can't attest to the longevity of this blade, its stainlessness or any of those other things. But from a pure sharpening and functionality standpoint, it seems to work pretty well. So there you go. And again, for $35, I'm not expecting S30V or 154 cm or even necessarily like a VG10. At least an HCR13 or a D2 would have been nice, but that's all right. It is what it is. So there you go. So you've got this blade, opens, closes one hand. I think that's pretty cool. The fact that it's locking is particularly interesting to me, so I like that. So what are the other tools you got on this thing? Well, you've got a pair of scissors that are spring assisted. There you go. Do they cut? They do. I have cut with them. There's the little spring. So yeah, pretty decent size. In fact, maybe I should open up a standard Swiss Army pair of scissors here so you can get a size, kind of a context there. Yeah, so you're getting substantially more scissor for, I mean, it's a substantially larger carry, but it's not ridiculous when you compare it to some other things. So there you go, a little scissor comparison there. This, the fact that you kind of have to do that and then slide it back down in, you got to kind of touch one of those scissor blades a little bit. It's not the greatest, but it is what it is. But the scissors work perfectly fine. And then one of the other little items here, this is an awl. And I think you've seen in some of my other videos, I don't even know what you do with an awl. I think it has something to do with sewing, or maybe, I don't even know. Yeah, I don't know. You can tell me down. Please educate me down in the comments, because I don't know. I suppose I could look it up and show some intellectual curiosity, but whatever. That feels like, this little guy feels like a bit of an afterthought. So whatever you're doing with this, and I've never had a single person ever in my life come up to me and say, you don't by chance have an awl on you, do you? So, I don't know who's using awls. I assume somebody is, but I also am assuming that if you use awls regularly, you probably have one that's better than this. So yeah, anyways, this is what that is. It's actually a little sharp, a little pointy. I don't know. It feels like a little bit of an afterthought, just so they could say they had another tool in there. But sort of the star, right, is this. It's the Armbar driver. And this thing is pretty slick, actually. So it comes with these bits, and they're magnetically held in there. So it's pretty, they're not falling out or going anywhere. They're in there. You get two. You get a Phillips and a flathead. They feel pretty good. I haven't tested this out to see if it fits. I'm sure it's probably fairly standard. You could probably fit other bit types in there. They probably sell them. I don't know. I didn't look at that when I was buying this, but maybe on the Gerber website or something. This actually is pretty handy. I like that it is what it is in the hand. It's got a little bit of, you can kind of move this around if you got to get into something like that in a corner. In some ways I thought at first, well, maybe if this locked, that'd be better, because then you could have more. But I get the need to kind of do the functionality game there. Maybe you could have done that with a lock too. I don't know. But again, for the price, this feels like a pretty reasonable set of a complement of tools and a pretty good functionality and pretty good fit and finish. Now it also has, and this is something, and I'll talk about this. So it's got also a pry bar. That's what this is. And you can see how that kind of flips up, right? So pry bar, bottle opener. They're also calling this a striking surface. So I don't know if, whatever you do, if you're hammering things in with that, I guess you could, but yeah, so you've got that little thing there. And that's kind of a slick use of space. Although this particular thing, and I'll get to that I'll just do it now. So when one of the biggest complaints I have about this particular knife is that when you're holding it, this part right here just bites you. It just digs right into the meaty part of your palm, and yeah, it hurts. It just kind of flat out hurts. So if you're really bearing down in any kind of way, this is pretty unpleasant. I guess you could try to do that, and that actually is more pleasant, but you kind of have to remember to do that, and that just seems like a design flaw to me for something that, I just don't know how functional that is. So while they got the knife part of this, I think, pretty well done, it's just not overly pleasant to actually use it for any. You kind of have to, anyways. And that's maybe it's just my hands. I don't know, but you can kind of see. It digs in pretty good there. So yeah, don't like that, and I don't find that particularly useful. So yeah, that is what it is. So the other thing that I kind of was disappointed in this, when I got it out of the box, there was nothing in the box apart from a thin piece of paper with 18 languages talking about the warranty, but that was it. There was no, so if you're, maybe this is your first multi-tool, or, there was just no information on how to open things on that. You could easily miss that that's a hidden little thing kind of in there. So yeah, I just didn't, I wasn't impressed with that. I thought that they could have gone, with a little bit of effort just to show you a schematic or something that just kind of talks about all the functionality. There wasn't even a list of tools not on the box or anything else. So yeah, so that was kind of disappointing. All that said, I think for $35, this is a decent multi-tool. Is this one that I will carry? Probably not. Why? Because I already carry blades that serve this purpose. And I know the steel, and I can get better steel and more reliability from a blade that I already carry in my normal pocket knife. The tools on here, like I said, the tools that I generally need are in a variety like that. So I don't need a lot of these tools. Having the bigger pair of scissors is kind of cool, but again, I don't find them to be the most, you kind of have to dig in. Ow, there you go. And pull it out, then you got to push this back. I mean, yeah, so, and again, even here, I mean, so this thing is just kind of a ergonomic nightmare in a lot of ways for something as small as this is. I mean, ow, that just pinched me too. Jeez. So there you go. Maybe I'm liking this less as I'm doing this review. I don't know. I don't have to think about that. But yeah, no, I mean, again, for the price, $35, I think there's some interesting functionality here. If you like the design of this, think the utility of this is good. It's a little 3.5 ounce roughly kind of thing. You can just throw in your pocket and have it, or throw in your pouch, or your messenger bag, or whatever you got. That's cool. I think you can maybe do better out there. But if you are a person that says, I don't want to carry a separate knife, I don't want to carry any of these other things, I just want one little thing that I can keep in my pocket, has everything there, you're probably all right with this, honestly. And even whatever steel this may be, it's probably going to be adequate for basic, minimal type activities. And I do like the fact that they took the time to make it a locking, one open, and one-handed open, one-handed close blade. So those are the kind of the highlights. Screwdriver is always interesting to me because that's the other major tool that I probably use the most. I think they did a nice job with the magnetic bits and just the overall look and functionality of that. Although, like I said, I think from an ergonomic standpoint, this thing isn't great. But it is what it is. So there you go. That's kind of my overall review of this particular armbar driver. I'm interested if, for those of you, they seem hard to find at the moment. I was looking around. I bought, like I said, I got this from DLT, and then I went and checked it again, and I may have gotten their last one. I don't know. It immediately said out of stock. So they don't seem to be in stock in a lot of other places. So I don't know. If you have one of these, what do you think? Have you tried it out? Do you carry a multi-tool? Do you not carry a multi-tool? All those things I find interesting. I like to know what people are carrying and what they use their carry for. I don't think this is going to be for me long term, but it definitely, is something interesting. If you like the look of it, if you think it might be something good for you, check it out. $35. That fits in my budget wheelhouse of things I think can be affordable, and even if they end up being a mistake, you don't feel like you're out, a huge amount of money. So I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope you enjoyed, I think this is the first video on the channel where I haven't done a knife, or a knife, traditional type knife activity, or knife thing of some variety. The words are eluding me, but, and this is more of a traditional, actual multi-tool. So let me know if you like that kind of thing. If you'd like to see more variation on the channel of these different kinds of EDC, that's certainly my plan. But if, some people just want to tune in for the knife stuff. So, either wait to the next one or go and watch another video somebody else is doing on knives, I guess at the moment. But thank you for watching this. I appreciate it. I hope you found it interesting, gave you a little information on this particular little Gerber tool. And I look forward to reading and talking with you in the comments below. So with that, stay safe out there, be mild-mannered to one another, and all the best.